Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
Hi, everybody.
It is still April, and we promise you 2 series going on at the same time. We just premiered our first one, our Smutty Sunday. We'll be going strong throughout the entire month, but today we're going to start our second one. And Betsy, we announced it on our last episode, and here it is. We're watching video game movies.
We sure are, Trent.
And what better way, what better movie, what better game franchise to start everything off with than the one that I started with myself. We're going to watch Super Mario Brothers.
The 90s one, not the new one.
And I know everybody's coming here. They're thinking, oh, geez, they got free access to the brand new movie.
We're not,
No, we're not that big.
No, but it does open today.
It does open this week.
For when this is released.
Exactly. So we're not covering that movie this week. We're covering the movie that came out 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Betsy, I have seen this movie.
Of course you have.
Of course I have, and Betsy, you have not. So,
dear God, no, I haven't.
why don't you tell our listeners what you think you know about this one before we get into it?
So this coming out in the early 90s, this was kind of in that very first wave of studios realizing they could turn video games into movies.
Mm-hmm.
And also the first wave of realizing that's harder to do than it sounds. So there is a lot of movies from this time frame, about this 5-year period in the early 90s, that are terrible. And this is included in there. I have heard this movie has a reputation for being not good and not really anything like the video games. Now,
no.
I didn't really play Mario that much as a kid. We've maybe brought it up before, but I didn't have any kind of gaming system in my house. I didn't have a Nintendo. I played it like other people I knew had it.
Yeah, and the systems that you had access to were normally Sega systems. So
later.
If anything, you were a Sega kid and I was a Nintendo kid.
Yes, I played a Nintendo, like our family friends who we would go visit, they had one, but we would always play Duck Hunt.
Sure.
So that was what we played. But the movie itself, I know that they are true to the fact that Mario is a plumber. And he is played by Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins himself.
A treasure.
The only movie that I think you and I have seen him in is Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Hook. He's in Hook.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I've seen him in more movies than you might imagine.
Probably.
Actually.
But yeah, Bob Hoskins sadly is no longer with us. But the person who plays his brother, Luigi, is still with us. Betsy, who is that?
That would be John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
And this is really early Leguizamo, so I don't think I've ever seen him this young. I think the earliest thing I saw him in was the 90s version of Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, yeah.
So this would predate that a few years.
It was like 97, 98.
I think that came out in 97 or 98, yeah. So this is going to be the earliest thing I've seen him in. I think it's Dennis Hopper plays Bowser.
Close. He plays King Koopa.
King Koopa. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, it's one of those things.
So I'm just going to come out and say this. So Mario as the games, there are certain things that you associate with Mario games. You got Mario and Luigi. You got Bowser or Koopa or whoever else the boss is. Who else? Or what else?
Princess Peach. There's the mushrooms.
Back in the 80s and 90s, though, she wasn't called Princess Peach.
Oh, I don't know what she was called then.
She was called Princess Toadstool.
Okay.
There's also the woman that you are going to save in Donkey Kong.
Okay.
So that's not the Princess Peach that we know from Super Mario Brothers. That's like, I think, Daisy or Paulina.
Okay.
It's one of those. So those are the people. What about like the creatures, the enemies that you fight?
There's some kind of turtle things. Are those the Koopas?
Those are Koopas, yes.
Okay. There's the mushrooms. There's...
You eat mushrooms. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, there's those little brown things with feet.
Those are Goombas.
Goombas. I don't know. There's turtle shells. That's what I remember because of the Koopas. Other than that, I have no idea. And I'm gonna guess there's elements of it that they brought into the movie, but this is more real guys from New York who find themselves in this strange world.
That's what I'm getting at here. They are like describe something to a movie executive or to a producer who's never even seen a Nintendo before.
Yeah.
Trying to describe things to them and they interpreting it the exact wrong way. And putting it into this movie. So I don't want to get super into it here. I haven't seen this movie for, it's probably been 10 to 15 years.
It's since probably before we started dating. I've never seen you put this on because you wanted me to watch it.
Yes, and we were kind of saving this one for like a bad movie marathon that we were going to do eventually. But no, we're not going to do that this time. We're going to do it now. We're going to go and watch Super Mario Brothers from 1993. We'll be right back. And we're back. That was Super Mario Brothers. Betsy, what'd you think of that?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah?
So this is one of those movies, if you had shown this to me when it originally came out and I was 8 years old, I probably wouldn't care. Like, it's the sort of stupid shit that they put out for kids our age in the 90s, where they're just these live action cartoonish movies, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. So if I had seen this as a kid, I probably would have been obsessed with it because it's just the right amount of stupid.
It's silly.
Yeah, it's silly. I giggled watching this a couple of times because it's so stupid. But it has absolutely nothing to do with Mario.
As a Mario Brothers movie, it fails tremendously.
This is the kind of thing where it feels like a movie where they wrote the movie and then they said, we need to quick adapt this and slap Super Mario Brothers because we got the rights to do it. So we just take the existing movie, change a couple of names around, and now it's a Super Mario Brothers.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, it feels closer to that than somebody actually setting out to write a realistic Mario movie.
Well, apparently in the course of making this movie, there were two directors on this, a husband and wife team, and the production apparently was just terrible. Like, there are stories from John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins when they've done interviews and written books saying the production of this movie was hell. Nobody knew what they were doing. They were doing constant rewrites every single day to the script. I think they said the shoot was supposed to last like 7 or 8 weeks. It took 17 weeks.
Oh, good God.
So the budget went way over. And yeah, it was just a fucking mess.
It's the thing where they were rushing to get it out as soon as they had the rights. They said, we've got it, quick, let's make it. And they didn't worry too much about actually having a ready product when they started shooting.
Well, they didn't consult with Nintendo at all.
You think?
Yeah. Like, you got the names and you got just a few references kind of thrown in there for like the fans, I guess, maybe?
Right, but the whole thing should be fan service. That is the point of a movie like this. This is not supposed to be for everybody, but that was back in the days where, fandom wasn't so mainstream. So they had to make everything for everybody, not just for the fans.
Yeah, and like this movie is much like a lot of the other video game movies of the time, where you're going to throw in some little bits and little pieces here and there, but you're not actually, you're making a movie that is kind of about a video game. You're not making an entertaining product. And they forgot to make an entertaining product here. This is not fun. This is not entertaining. It's barely funny. And mainly it's funny because it's so fucking stupid.
Right. If you want to be entertained by how bad it is, then they have successfully made what they sought out to do.
I don't think they sought out to do that, but
I don't know what they sought out to do, because other than the opening where they play the little Mario theme. Mm-hmm. There's no like little sound effects. There's no.
There are.
Barely.
There are. So like, let's just talk about some of the references here. So the boots are meant to evoke, hey, Mario's really good at jumping. And there's little sounds that come out of the boots that actually come from Super Mario Bros. 2, which, by the way, let's set this movie in history of the video games. The first Mario Brothers came out in 1985 in the US. Mario Brothers 2, I think, came out in 88. Mario 3 came out in 90. And Mario World was like 91, 92.
Okay.
So there's 4 mainline Mario games for them to take from. So the sounds coming out of the boots is from 2. You have different references on like signs in the background. Like there was a reference to Wigglers, which is from World. Like the Bob-ombs are from 3. There's mushrooms and funguses all around. They're referencing that, but they don't like nobody has any superpowers.
No, like he doesn't consume a mushroom to give him any abilities.
Like they have guns that are the equivalent of the fire flower, like fireballs. Mm-hmm. Like that is a reference to that, but not actually being the thing from the game. Another one of the like billboards, like there's a reference to the Hammer Brothers. There's a Hammer Brothers tattoo parlor. The Boom Boom Club. Boom Boom was an enemy that you fought in Mario 3. And there was something called Bullet Bills, which I think was a bar. And like bullet bills are the things that go after you in the sky.
Bullets.
In the first Mario.
Yeah, there's like a bullet
They're bullets,
thing.
yeah.
Okay.
So there are references to the game here, but it's... Oh.
But they're in the background. They're not the main focal point. And I understand that there's a lot of things you're trying to fit in here, but yeah, it's just all kinds of craziness with the execution. Like the whole point with Mario and Daisy is it's Mario and Daisy, not Daisy and Luigi.
Well, like we said in the intro, Peach is the main person in the Mario universe. This is not Peach. This is one of the other ladies that are occasionally in the Mario games that you're saving.
But she's now Luigi's girlfriend. Luigi's the little brother. He gets nothing. In the video games, he's just also there.
Well, and I feel like in the next movie that is going to be coming out, the big hubbub is the fact that Chris Pratt is probably going to be minimized. Like the amount of Chris Pratt in that movie is probably going to be very low because what you're really coming there to see is all of the other characters. Mario is an afterthought. I saw an article the other day where they surveyed, okay, out of all of these Mario characters that you've grown to know over the past 30 some years, which are your favorite characters? You know what the top 2 are?
Toad.
No. The top 2 characters are Yoshi and Luigi.
Interesting.
Followed by Mario and Peach.
Okay. So that's their strategy for that movie. Was that their strategy for this movie?
I don't know. I don't know if there was a strategy here.
I don't think there was.
Other than, again, like you have them like getting their uniforms finally. Like they didn't have any kind of like red and green motif until like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
I was literally like, are we ever going to see them in the outfits, quote unquote?
Right.
And it's not even the right outfits. It's adapted for the movie, which I can live with. I'm okay with an interpretation.
There is a version of Mario with the blue and the red.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that as long as it's like the right colors. Right. It doesn't have to be the overalls with the little buttons.
Yeah, you need to have Mario as the kind of short, fat one, and Luigi as the skinny, tall one.
Yeah, and they got
green. Yeah,
they got that part right. Like, I'm not mad about Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
They did their best.
I didn't hate this. Like, John Leguizamo's adorable in this movie. He is like, also, I didn't realize he was already 33 when he made this.
Yeah.
He is much older than I think he is. In my head, he is a younger man.
Yeah.
So you've got the two of them, and then Samantha Mathis, who is one of those people that was really getting pretty hot in the 90s and then just never really took off. We already had her in one movie we watched. She was in American Psycho.
Okay.
A year after this, she was
she the girlfriend?
I think she was the girlfriend.
Okay,
I don't know. She's one of the women he's sleeping with in American Psycho.
Fine.
She was also in, a year after this, Little Women, the one with Winona Ryder. She plays the grown-up Amy.
Okay.
And she was on a more recent season of The Walking Dead, which you and I never watched because we stopped watching it. But yeah, she's one of those actresses that kind of was on the rise in the 90s. And then, I don't know, it just never really turned out that she was a big star.
And I feel like she put in the most effort here into acting.
Oh yeah, she was trying.
Yeah.
She was doing the best she could with what she had.
Right. Even like acting against a puppet, the Yoshi thing, which that was a puppet. That was not CG.
I figured.
I read something saying that there were like 900 feet worth of cables and wires inside that puppet, and it took like 4 or 5 different puppeteers to radio the movements of that thing. But yeah, her acting against that, you know, what can you do? It's not a thing that's going to respond to you, so I don't know.
There were some other puppets clearly in this movie. The stuff of nightmares, the Goombas.
Oh, the Goombas.
Those fuckers are horrible.
I mean, Goombas are one of the main things that you should associate with Mario, as these little tiny brown turd things that you jump on to kill. They go squish and then you move on.
Not
but in
6 feet, like,
these guys are like 10 feet tall with tiny heads and huge bodies.
But their mouths move and their eyes move and they're little puppets, and I hated them.
They're the stuff of nightmares.
They kept zooming in on their faces and giving me close-ups, and I didn't need that. I really didn't need it.
No, they're like the foot soldiers of Koopa. And again, we mentioned, Dennis Hopper is putting on a fucking clinic here.
Okay, Dennis Hopper has made an entire career of playing characters like this.
Being
where he is
fucking crazy.
He is just crazy, and he's kind of game for whatever nonsense you give him. Like, genuinely, this is the only person who I would say fits completely with what is going on in this chaos.
Yeah?
He was born to play these ridiculous characters. So it is what it is. But he did his best.
If there's a name in this movie, it's his.
He's the star, yeah. Because, I mean, Bob Hoskins was a known entity at this point.
He was.
He had already made Roger Rabbit, and he had made Hook, and he had made a lot of other things.
But you wouldn't necessarily call him a leading man. Like, he's always best in small doses with other people. But he's like bouncing off of other people.
But he's also best playing a character. And it's always been great to me to remember that he's a British guy. Because he's so good at these, like, surly New Yorker types.
Yep.
He does the same thing in Roger Rabbit, where he's just it's like, Dolores!
Yeah, it's essentially the same accent he's got here. And I think was just his thing. He did a great job in Roger Rabbit. He did a great job here. And I love when he yells. He's got a great, like, bellowing voice.
He does. But he is definitely, for being Mario, the kind of the side character at times in this movie, where he's got sort of this rando stereotype of a girlfriend from Brooklyn. Yeah, this is Danielle, my girlfriend, who's in the beginning and in the end, and that's it. And the rest of the time, we're mostly focusing on Daisy, I would say, more
Daisy
than anything.
and Luigi, yeah.
Yeah. Then other people who are in this who show up, Fisher Stevens is one of the goons. What did you say? Iggy.
And Spike.
I don't remember which one. He's the one without the facial hair.
Yeah.
He has an Oscar.
Really?
That guy got an Oscar. Yeah, he did a documentary.
Okay.
So he produced it, and he won an Oscar.
Okay, and I mentioned while we were watching Iggy and Spike, these are not actual characters that you're ever going to recognize from Mario, but the names are real things from Mario games. Iggy is one of, like, they're meant to evoke, these are actually Bowser's, like, nephews. They don't actually say Bowser has any children. They're nephews.
In the game are?
In the game, yeah. And I think in Mario 3, Iggy is one of the nephew guys.
But here they made them Koopas.
Yeah, and Spike is it's like a Goomba, where Spike is a guy who, like, regurgitates, like, spiked balls and he throws them at you. It's really strange to have these two names show up as these two, like, goober characters.
They're just there and they don't understand how humans work, and then they make them smart because they have a machine that can do that.
Right.
Just like in the game, Trent. Obviously,
course.
You know that classic Mario move of de-evolving and evolving people.
So... again, this is very much a 90s trope of having two fucking dumbasses who team up and go after the main characters. This is such a 90s trope.
They're just thugs.
Yeah, and they're kind of stupid. And like I'm also reminded of the 90s television show The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Bulk and Skull.
Bulk and Skull.
Simultaneous.
It is that fucking trope of the big guy and the small guy going after each other. They're bumbling fools, and you get to laugh at them, even though, and they're not really a threat.
Yeah, and then in this one, they make them smarter, and then
Right.
they talk funny.
And even that's funny.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, an interesting conundrum.
They're inept still, but yeah, now they can use big words.
And then the last person who people would definitely recognize in this is Fiona Shaw, who's another character they just sort of threw in here.
Yeah.
So that Koopa would have a love interest question mark?
I don't know.
But did you recognize her?
I know her from one thing.
She was on True Blood.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people would know her from Killing Eve, so that's kind of a more recent
more
thing.
recent thing. She was one of the stars on that.
Yeah. So she's great, just hamming it up. Like, I think people understood the assignment here. I feel like nobody is out of place. They're just working with the material they were given, which isn't good.
I feel like they were probably happy that this was only like an hour-and-a-half movie.
This is an hour 44, Trent.
But still.
It should have been an hour and a half.
By the way, apparently there is about a half hour of cut footage.
Good God.
That there's descriptions of them. I didn't read them all, but yeah, it just seems like they just extended a lot of the scenes that are already here.
By all rights, this movie should be 85 minutes maximum. Like, I don't need more.
Yeah.
And like, there were times this was starting to feel really long. I was waiting for it to be over. I thought this was like
it took long
a cool
enough.
90 minutes. No.
Yeah, it took long enough for them to even cross over to the other dimension. Like, they spent a lot of time in Brooklyn at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just get to the point.
And you have this, like, other evil villain of the other plumbing company who's coming in. They're like the fucking Italian mob, but they're a plumbing company.
Well, and then it's just all over the place, because the first thing you see is a sequence 65 million years ago in the time of the dinosaurs in Brooklyn.
An animated sequence.
Pixelated and animated, narrated.
Narrated by Dan Castellaneta.
By Dan
Homer
Castellaneta.
Simpson himself.
And there's the asteroid that destroys the planet, which apparently hit in Brooklyn.
Of course.
Because of course it did. And then in present day, we're digging up dinosaurs. And the whole plot is, when that happened, there was an alternate dimension created, and the dinosaurs live in an alternate dimension, and they evolved into this other species. So the reptiles evolved into humanoid creatures,
Yeah,
and then the humans on Earth evolved.
Yeah, and they make their version of New York.
And there is still the asteroid, or the comet, or whatever they called it, and there is a piece of it that if you put it all together, it will merge the two universes.
Yeah.
You know, the plot of Super Mario Brothers, the game.
Yes, exactly. Again, I don't know where the hell they came up with this concept.
Like I said,
and how you shoehorn Mario into there, or vice versa. I don't know.
It feels like a movie that was written already. Like, they had the skeleton of the movie, and then they said, quick, we need a Mario Brothers movie. So they made some changes. What have we got?
What do we have lying around that has something to do with dinosaurs, and put a bunch of Mario stuff into it?
Yeah, there's alternate dimensions, and there is this gritty, futuristic city underground, and there are, you know, the Pine Sol lady who runs around in like
I don't know if she looked like the Pine Sol lady.
That was absolutely the Pine Sol lady,
okay,
Trent.
all right.
100%.
I started to look into it. I didn't get that far. But yeah, I said she looks like the Pine Sol lady.
Google Pine Sol lady. That is who that was.
Okay.
I'm telling ya. The fact that I recognized her immediately should tell you enough that was her. And so just nonsense. It's nonsense. And then there was the Bowser character was the ruler, but they never actually call him Bowser.
Yeah, he's not credited. It's Lance Hendrickson.
Who shows up in one scene.
He's in one scene saying one line, saying, man, I love those plumbers, or whatever the hell he says.
But he got de-evolved into a fungus that has taken over the Mushroom City, which, again, they only kind of passingly call it the Mushroom City.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Mushroom Kingdom, whatever. It's this whole subplot, like Samantha Mathis, her mother, she also plays her own mother, escaped and like they are born from eggs because they evolved from dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah, the egg was brought to this nunnery in Brooklyn, and she grew up with this crystal around her neck her entire life, has no idea what it is, but she happened to go into the field of archaeology.
Paleontology,
excuse me.
She's digging up dinosaur bones on the shores of New York before the evil plumbing corporation can destroy them.
Jesus.
The saboteurs.
There's so many plot points here that are never resolved.
No! And even like at the beginning, Mario and Luigi are trying to run this like independent plumbing business.
Right.
They get a phone call to go to the scene of this restaurant where there's an incident, a plumbing emergency.
Of course.
And this other rival plumbing company got there first. Who calls just like open-ended? Like, let's just put out an open call to all plumbers in New York City. That's how things work, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
And Luigi's an apprentice. He's just an apprentice plumber.
Well, we even get his backstory a little bit, where Luigi doesn't know his parents. Mario raised him basically from a child.
Okay, but are they brothers or are they not brothers here?
Well, that's the thing.
Because they kind of suggest that they're not actually brothers.
I don't think they are, because Mario said, yeah, I'm like his mother, his father, his aunt, his uncle, his brother, his sister, everything.
But he's taken his surname, which apparently is also Mario, which I had.
God.
Is that from this specifically?
Yes, it is only from this movie.
They give it in this movie that his name is Mario.
And Nintendo has actually come out and said definitively that that's fake. He's not actually just named Mario.
Okay, but you understand why they would be called the Mario Brothers is misleading.
I know, but how does a movie interpret that? That way.
It's so stupid. It is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, they even
it's a funny bit.
It is. But they even changed that. Like, so are they brothers or aren't they?
No. They're not blood brothers. They call themselves brothers.
I don't like it. In the games, that is his brother, little brother, Luigi. Those are the rules, and I don't like this movie for changing the canon.
Well, that's the thing. This is so ridiculous. Why do you need to give like meaning to all of it? It should just be fucking stupid. That's why I'm looking forward to the next Mario movie, because they're actually going to have elements from the games thrown in here, because you know what Mario does. He runs, he jumps, he hits blocks with his fist, he gets mushrooms and fire flowers, and he kills bad guys.
And coins and all this stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And there's none of that here. Ugh. Anyway. Oh boy. I don't know, Betsy. This movie, I can't even really say that it should have been better, because you would have needed to completely gut everything. Even if you had the same casting of all the main characters, you just needed to have a completely different story. I don't know how else you do it, but there's no salvaging this movie in any way.
No, I don't think this has anything to do with what people were expecting it to be.
Yeah.
I don't think they tried to make it what people were expecting it to be. I don't even know how this did. If this like completely
it
bombed.
It bombed.
Good. It deserved to bomb.
And that's why Nintendo didn't really go out and try to make another movie. Until now.
For so fucking long.
They had other properties in the pipeline to make movies out of. I read they were in the process of making a Metroid movie. They scrapped it after this movie bombed so hard.
Well, and again, like I said in the intro, there was a lot of that going around in this like 5-year period, like Double Dragon and Street Fighter and all of these other movies. Mortal Kombat came out about this time or soon after.
94-ish, 94, 95.
Yeah, and it was just
and
kind of...
that movie's okay.
It's
okay.
Not great.
You're not going to come out of there and say this was high cinema. No. The second Mortal Kombat movie is a fucking trash fire.
Yes.
But we covered the most recent Mortal Kombat movie. That was pretty good.
Because they did the things, they learned the lessons. So this was the time frame they were just putting it out there to see what happens. And a lot of them were failures. But we've now removed ourselves 30 years from most of those movies, and it's coming back around. We remade Mortal Kombat, and it was great. We're remaking Mario. I haven't heard how good it is yet. The reviews aren't out yet. We'll see.
Yeah, they made a couple of Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie. Those did pretty well. Regardless of the quality of the movie, they did well. And they also just rebooted that too with Alicia Vikander.
Which weirdly, I don't think did do well.
I don't think so, but I think they're making another one.
Of course they are.
Of course. But in the most recent history, I think the thing that Nintendo realized after Detective Pikachu did really well, and the fact that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie did extremely well, I think that's really got the ball rolling for them to make this new movie. Saying, hey, video games are more popular than they have ever been. Mario is still a beloved property. Sonic is still a beloved property, even to kids these days. You know the last good Sonic game?
The 90s?
Trick question. There's never been a good Sonic game. Anyway, but yeah, that's my point. It's not until recent history that Nintendo has finally gotten word that, you know what, we can use these properties in different ways other than making games that take fucking years and years to make. There's the Super Mario World theme park that just opened in the past year. We got the new movie coming out. And I'm sure there's going to be another game coming out eventually, but they can use these properties for other things and make money.
Well, and like Mario Maker was like the greatest thing that came out in a decade.
Yeah. And I think that introduced a lot of people to the old concepts. If you're not aware, what Betsy mentioned, Mario Maker was a game that came out about 5-6 years ago, where you can make your own Mario levels based on a few different of the what they call tile sets from Mario 1, Mario 3, and I think Mario World.
They gave you all the pieces and you could do what you wanted.
You could just do what you want with it. And yeah, that introduced a whole lot of new people to the concepts of these old games. And yeah, it's mind-blowing. And I spent a lot of time with that thing.
My 12-year-old nephew loves Mario Kart.
Yes.
It is like his favorite fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is like a resurgence happening because it's the people like you and me, people our age.
Yeah. Having children and introducing them to what our childhood was, and these companies are obliging.
For the movies, they're actually paying attention and, like I said, righting wrongs and doing the fan service and just do it the way we want. Don't do it the way you want. Don't make Super Mario Brothers from 1993. Nobody wanted this shit. This is trash.
Yeah.
But if you had made in 1993, if they had been able to make it, it could have been incredible. It took 30 years. It's also funny watching this movie because this looks so low budget and terrible. And all I kept thinking about was, this is the same year Jurassic Park came out.
Yeah.
So I know the technology for dinosaurs and other things existed.
Well, let's talk about that. So I feel like, it was probably a budgetary concern more than anything else, but they didn't go whole hog on the CG of the time.
This is like the cheapest version of CG they could do.
Like you can count on one hand how many times they use CG. Like when they go down into the tunnel and they find the portal, they kind of dissolve into the wall.
Again, stuff of nightmares when her face like emerges and she's like, help me.
Help me, Luigi. When they put the crystal back into the meteor, they kind of blink out of existence. A la Avengers Infinity War, at the end of that, they all kind of dissolve away.
Which is also really funny because the composer in this movie is Alan Silvestri, who also composed that.
Oh, fuck me.
This is like a real deal composer, and he has done some heavy hitters. Like he's the Robert Zemeckis go-to. So he like Forrest Gump, Polar Express, Grumpy Old Men.
The music here, what it evoked for me, it was like with the brass and everything else, it evoked Star Wars, to be honest.
A little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of Tim Burton. Like it's just like fun.
It's also like a Danny Elfman, like kind of
yeah. It was kind of taking the video game and running it through a filter, that kind of bouncy feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, the technology, like you said, I did think that too, where it's like, oh, they've been snapped out of existence and now they're going back to the real world.
But then you also have like the fungus, the king fungus thing. That's a puppet.
Yeah, it's just the weird gooey oozing thing.
Fine, you didn't have to do that, but it looked okay.
I appreciate practical effects.
Yoshi was a puppet.
Mm-hmm. I liked Yoshi.
Yeah.
I didn't like he was called Yoshi, because that's not what I interpret Yoshi as in my own personal mind.
It's like they just took concepts and names from all 4 games and just threw them in there.
Yes.
Yeah. God. Yeah, this movie sucks.
Correct.
But we do have a few more things that we need to cover before we get out of here. I mentioned some of the other like stores and other things. I forgot to mention Thwomp. That was everywhere. So like
Thwomp.
It was like Thwomp themed and branded merchandise.
Is that the definition of the noise when he jumps on things?
No,
or what
Thwomp
is that?
is actually another enemy in the game.
Of course
where
he
it's
is.
the big guy at the top of the screen, and when you get near him, he comes down to try to get you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to see him.
The bombs was another thing. Like, that's a real thing.
That was like the one thing that looked the way it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. The one thing in this entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Luigi at one point said, "We're not in Brooklyn anymore."
Is that from the game?
No.
What is it from?
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that whole thing.
I feel like you could have a game of, drink every time they say Brooklyn.
And yeah, anytime you see a movie from this era and it's in New York, of course, you're going to see references to the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm. And of course, in this movie, they're like depicting it as like unfinished. So they look kind of disheveled.
It's run down in the alternate universe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like when we switch over to the other dimension after they put the crystal back in, they replace the real Twin Towers with the decrepit ones.
It's really hard to watch movies from the 80s and 90s now because you're constantly reminded of that. You always see that landscape.
It's okay for me to just see them and it's fine.
When
they're depicted
out,
like this, and it's such an iconic thing for people who grew up and experienced the thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough to watch. It's painful to watch. There's
a pang that you didn't expect to have while watching this movie.
And we will have that for the rest of our lives. Uh-huh. And speaking of the bombs, we didn't mention, after it goes like underneath the sewer thing and it comes up right underneath Koopa, it has a Reebok logo on its feet.
Why is it wearing little Reebok shoes?
Because it's the 90s.
I don't care.
And it had Pepsi everywhere.
I didn't even see Pepsi.
Oh, there was Pepsi.
I didn't see it once.
Yeah, in the Brooklyn scenes, there was Pepsi. I think there's even a couple more product placement things that I cannot remember. Another thing, the portable de-evolution guns that look like a fucking bazooka.
Yeah.
That is a real thing. So those were like modified, what they call super scopes.
Okay.
And a super scope was the light gun, kind of like the zapper where you play Duck Hunt. Mm-hmm. But it was for the Super Nintendo, it was a bazooka that you pointed at the screen and you had a trigger.
I guess I do vaguely remember that.
I never had one.
Was it white?
It was gray, like that.
Gray? Okay.
Yeah, it was gray and kind of whitish. But those were super scopes that were made to look more like actual weapons.
Interesting.
Yep. And one last thing here. Number one, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the movie, I apologize, but this movie isn't available anywhere.
Or I don't apologize. I don't really, depending on your opinion of the movie.
Depending on your perspective. If you want to watch this movie, you can't.
Yeah,
because
you already had this movie.
I have had this in my possession for a very long time. I've got a really good quality version of it, and, you just can't find it anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere. You have to find a physical disc or somebody who has a digital copy of it through other means.
Yeah, find your local used video store if those are still available in your area.
For some reason, I think Amazon still has a bunch of VHS copies that they found somewhere.
Oh, good
and they were
Lord.
selling them for like $2. So if you wanted like a weird like Secret Santa gift,
I'm going to
go
go
on
and buy
Amazon now.
100 of them and cover a wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to super glue them to the wall.
But anyway, at the very end of the movie, if you didn't stay through the credits, which why are you not staying through the credits of every movie?
Forever.
Appreciate
the composers, if nothing else.
There is an end credit scene.
Oh, Lord.
If you did not know this, look it up on YouTube. The very end is a scene with a couple of Japanese businessmen talking to somebody off screen saying, "We really think that your story and your adventures would make for a great video game. What do you want to call it?" And it's fucking Iggy and Spike.
Yep. Subverting your expectations. It is
Yeah.
not the Mario Brothers.
Even though they say Super Mario Brothers on the TV in the scene right at the end of the movie. No. The Super Koopa Cousins.
Well, and they even, like, at the end of this movie kind of set it up like they're gonna have more adventures.
Right,
but
Daisy shows up looking all, like, burnt to hell, saying, "Hey, you gotta come with me."
Come with me if you want to live kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
But it's just the end of the movie, and we never got a sequel, and that's okay.
So, that's Super Mario Brothers. I'm sorry.
Gee, thanks, Trev.
I'm sorry. We don't cover a lot of bad movies on this podcast for good reason. We don't want to be tortured. As I mentioned, we will eventually do a bad movie series.
Listen, this is not the worst movie I have ever seen in my whole life. As I said,
No.
if I had watched this when I was a kid, I probably would have loved this.
Yeah, this movie does not actively make me pain.
No, I'm not, like, screaming, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
I just kind of accepted my destiny.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I know it's bad, but I would actually watch it again. That's the thing. Like, we covered The Goonies. I fucking hate The Goonies. I don't ever want to see that movie again.
I'm going to make you watch it 50 times.
So anyway, all right, I'm done talking about this movie. We are going to read an email before we get out of here. This one came in from Stephanie almost 2 months ago.
Heyo.
So it's been a while. She wrote us about the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And, you know, to be honest, there's no other place to read an email about Jay and Bob. So let's just do it during Mario.
Yeah.
She says, "I had not seen this one, so I watched it last night. It is fun and dumb, very, very dumb. Harley Quinn Smith and Justin Long are both in Tusk. Harley also has a bigger role in Yoga Hosers, which are a couple of other Kevin Smith movies that are not in the View Askew universe. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever watch those two movies.
It's probably unlikely, but you never know. If we run out of his other movies from View Askew.
Jeez. She says the Glenn Gary speech from Bob cracked me up. Yeah, when Bob is trying to distract some of the people who have the people hostage, he is reciting the Glenn Ross speech made by Alec Baldwin, and it's almost verbatim, and it's one of the best moments in that movie and in this movie. So, all of the cameos and references are pretty well done, although I did roll my eyes a few times. You mentioned dinner theater, more specifically live dinner theater. There's a great one in Kansas City, and we've been there a few times since moving here. I don't have a lot to say about the movie because there just isn't a lot to it, but it definitely made me laugh, and it was very fun. Love, superfan, Stephanie.
Yeah, that's like this movie. There's not a lot to it. It's kind of fun. It makes you laugh a little bit.
And really, movies like this are hard to cover because there isn't much to talk about.
No.
But I just wanted Betsy to experience the magic along with all of you fine folks who have seen this movie.
Or if you have no intention of ever watching it, we've saved you the trouble.
Yeah, it's really not worth your time unless you're doing it for a podcast.
Or you're a glutton for punishment.
Or if you just want to have that historical thing, to know what was going on in the 90s relating to video games and movies. So, anyway, that is going to be the end of this episode. If you would like to tell us about your favorite video game movie or your favorite video game, I'll talk about that too. I'm the reason why we're doing this.
It's true. You definitely have more love for the, what do you call it, activity
Sure.
than I
the
do.
hobby.
The hobby.
Yeah. email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We're also on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We post every single day. Follow us on there and use it to share us with your friends. We would very much appreciate you doing that. Along with, we don't mention this a whole lot, go on Spotify, go on iTunes, and rate us 5 stars. Apparently that really helps get the word out to other folks. You could also click the link in the podcast description to support us financially. It's the top link in every episode description. It'll get you to a page on Spotify where you can throw us $1. We'd very much appreciate that too. But again, this is the end of this episode. Every Sunday is going to be Smutty Sunday in the month of April, and we're going to have another video game movie coming up next Wednesday, so look forward to those. Until then, my name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll be back with another episode of Never Seen It.
Bye, guys.